Well, that's all I got. And now I'm out of here because Pumbaa's collecting sun-dried grubs for dinner. See you around. And that's the end of that. Phew, I'm spent. Oh, there better be a long, slow soak at the hot springs in my future. So long, everybody. Hey, everybody. Great to be here. Actually, since I was just being chased by a hyena, it's great to be anywhere. But seriously, a few of you in the audience look a little hungry. So, why don't I just move on to the questions? Okay, everybody, repeat after me. Hakuna Matata. That's my motto. It means no worries. Feel free to use it if you don't do too well in this round. All right, anyway, on with the questions. Who put his past behind him after something bad happened to his dad, Mufasa? Pumbaa's kind of known for his, aroma. In fact, he once knocked some guys clear out of the trees by walking by. Who were they? Who did we find out really killed King Mufasa? Who acted, brilliantly I might say, as live bait to distract some hyenas? Who said, "What do you want me to do, dress and drag and do the hula?" When Simba and Nala were cubs, who did they like making faces at? Oh, this one kills me. I wish I could have been there. Anyway, after little Simba finished singing about how much he wanted to be king, who sat right on top of Zazu? Simba told me that he and Nala once hopped a ride with a couple of neighbors from the Pride Lands. And who might that have been? In an understatement of elephant-sized proportions, who once accused Scar of being weird? In a subtle move of self-preservation, who used to file down Simba's claws? Right before Simba just up and left the jungle, who did he say talked to him from up in the sky? Who was once captured by that good-for-nothing Scar? When Pumbaa and me first met Simba, he was starving. What was the one thing he didn't ask to eat? That first day we met her, what was Pumbaa stalking while Nala was stalking him? There's a song called Hakuna Matata. You might have heard it. Who sang it? Who thinks those fireflies stuck up in the night sky are really balls of gas burning billions of miles away? Who lives in that creepy elephant graveyard? Who did Zazu once say would make a very handsome throw rug? What color was Scar's beady evil eyes? When Simba was a kid, who told him his kingdom would be everything the light touches? Back when they were cubs, who rescued Simba and Nala from some stinking scavenging hyenas? Who once saved little Simba from a bunch of vultures? Hey, who got stuck under a tree root when he was running away from Nala? So who figured out Simba was still alive just by looking at a bunch of leaves and feathers? When Simba was a baby, who presented him to the animals of the Pride Lands? Which of these lions was Scar, King Mufasa's lion stinking brother? Which of these is my best buddy, Pumbaa? Which of these is the king's major domo, Zazu? Which of these is Rafiki? You know, the guy who keeps saying it's time for something? Right before that horrible stampede, what was little Simba practicing his roar on? When Simba was a cub, who'd he call Banana Beak? Who let the hyenas take over the Pride Lands? What do me and Pumbaa love to eat? Who was betrothed to Simba from the time they were cubs? Oh, poor guy. Who's the dodo that Simba and Nala once tried to ditch? Who brought news from the underground after Zazu finished his morning report? Who did Scar used to call the little hairball? Who fought the hyenas with a stick and some type moves? What goody two-feet gets up early to give the king his morning report about the kingdom?
Put these sports in order of how many players play at a time, starting with the least.
When Zazu went to find out why Scar wasn't at Simba's presentation, what was Scar about to eat? Who taught Simba about pouncing? Who once tried cooking Zazu in a birdie boiler? Who did Simba tell to run away and never return? When he was young, who was an outcast because of his, well, let's say, personalized aroma? Who told Pumbaa and me that Simba went back to Pride Rock? Who told me and Pumbaa that our buddy Simba was actually a king? When Pumbaa and I distracted the hyenas, what was Pumbaa holding in his mouth? When Simba first returned to Pride Rock, who did Scar think he was? Who joined Zazu in a cage to escape from the hyenas?
Put these sports in order of how many players play at a time, starting with the most.
The only good thing those hyenas ever did was get rid of this guy. Who was it? Who told Simba he was going to get a surprise to die for? Who escaped some crazy hyenas by running through a briar patch after Simba passed out in the hot sun? Who carried him to the oasis? Who's my very best buddy? When Pumbaa and I went bowling for buzzards, who did we find? Who invaded our jungle and busted up the great bachelor thing Pumbaa, Simba, and I had going? Who once told Simba that the great kings of the past live in the stars? Who made a big mistake when they called Pumbaa a pig after he stole the kingdom? Who did Scar keep locked up in a cage?
Put these shapes in order by number of corners, starting with the most.
Who fought with Simba on Pride Rock when Simba was a cub? Who used to give him a bath? Who was in charge of the hunting party that Scar sent out for food? Who did little Simba practice pouncing on? Who did Zazu call slobbering, mangy, stupid poachers? Who was Scar's only nephew? So down at the waterhole, everyone's always leaving tracks in the mud. Which of these tracks were left by a lion? If I wanted to find an elephant, for some heavy lifting, what kind of tracks would I look for? Say you're a giraffe. I know. Just go with me here. What kind of tracks would you leave in the mud? What's black and white and red all over? A zebra with a sunburn. I killed myself. But seriously, what kind of tracks would a zebra leave? So, which one of these guys doesn't live in the Pride Lands? Which one of these guys has the longest neck? Of everybody in the Pride Lands, who weighs the most? Hey, who's famous for sounding like they're laughing? Now, which of these guys can use their jaws to carry things that weigh 5 times more than they do? Sheesh. Who has a mane? Which of these guys can fly? Who has a pair of tusks? Which of these guys is at the top of the food chain? Who's been known to get scared and start a stampede? Who lives together in a pride? When a bunch of these guys get together, it's called a herd. Who is it? A whole tree full of these is called a tribe. Who am I talking about? Ho-ho! Who lives in clans and hunts guys like me in packs? Whose little ones are called cubs? Whose kids are called calves? When they're babies, who's called a foal? Whose babies are called chicks? I knew I liked these guys for a reason. Who is the only natural predator of the hyena? Which of these guys can run the fastest? Birds fly, right? Not so fast. Some of them don't. So who's lacking in the flying department?